Westminster Abbey was built in 1245 under King Henry III. It is famous for being the site of many coronations, royal weddings, and for being home to 450 tombs and monuments.
Right now I'm sitting in the college gardens at Westminster Abbey. We just did the tour through it and it was really incredible. I'm not a very religious person, but being here was really awesome. I lit a candle and said a prayer for my family, so that was really fun. It was a cool experience. Just being in Westminster Abbey, being able to say a prayer for my family was really cool. I think one of my favorite parts about Westminster Abbey was all the tombs of the late kings and queens, especially the one with Elizabeth I and Mary I, because apparently they didn't get along very much and they had opposing viewpoints, but they wanted to be buried with each other in hopes of a resurrection. And I just thought that was a really cool, to see and cool to learn about, so I really liked that. And also just the architecture was incredible, like the stained glass windows and the ceilings, like I found myself looking up more than I was looking at anything else, and I thought that was really cool. So that was Westminster Abbey, and I really enjoyed it.
The College Gardens at Westminster Abbey is said to be the oldest garden in England, and originally grew food and medicinal herbs for monks. Today, some of the oldest plants in the gardens are 5 trees that were planted in 1849.
Carrie, I'm sorry, I've made a mistake. My favorite part about Westminster Abbey is Britain's oldest door.
We visited Westminster Abbey kind of toward the beginning of the trip, and so I didn't really have a whole lot of insight on British history yet. But now that I kind of have a grasp of it, another thing that I found really interesting after the fact about Westminster Abbey was actually Oliver Cromwell's body being in the Royal Air Force Chapel. He kind of took power politically after Charles I was beheaded for treason, and Cromwell was kind of blamed for the English Civil War. At the time, he was hailed for taking the Royalists out of power, and when he died, he was buried in Westminster Abbey as tribute. But he was only buried there for 3 years because once the Royalists came back into power, they actually dug his body up, hung him, and beheaded him. So there is a little animosity there, but just looking after the fact, I thought that was really, really interesting about Westminster Abbey.